Hello, everybody. Welcome to Counselor's Couch 101. I'm Jim Stump. I hope you are all contending with the natural occurrences going on in our country at this time. Bless you all if you're dealing with it. Um, have you ever heard the expression, you can't get there from here? I always thought that was kind of a crazy idea because obviously you can get anywhere from anywhere if you want to. But I think it sort of suggests that you can't get there in a straight line, that you have to backtrack somehow. You have to go in a very crooked, alternative sort of a way. Maybe you have to go back down the road, take the country road down to the route, take the route over to the highway and up this way, and then go to the next city and come back down to the place you want to go by heading south instead of north. But you can get there if you want to. When it comes to counseling, sometimes it's like that. We can't get there from where the person is because the person is so hurt and damaged and angry that they won't allow anyone to help them. And that's why we can't get there from anywhere, because they keep batting it down. And quite frankly, it doesn't help to give them things to prop them up. It just keeps them weaker longer. That's what that does. So that doesn't help either. What's the solution? Well, if you can't do anything else, you have to wait until they're ready to make a move and make an improvement. That may take a long time. It may take a lot of wasted years for someone to finally get sick and tired of being sick and tired and finally wanting something better, finally wanting a change. If you have any influence in the situation at all, we encourage that person who is resisting help to take an action. Any action whatsoever. Get the person moving. Get the person doing something. And once they are in motion, hopefully they'll arrive at a spot they'll begin to see that there are possibilities out in their future that they hadn't considered, right? It can be a very difficult task too. And once they get to a place where they're in a better mental and emotional state, then we can help them with counseling techniques, because then they are open to being helped and they're open to improving those things that are going on in their brains, that are their thought processes that are making them unhappy, keeping them trapped. Recently, there was a story about homeless people. You may have heard this one. It was on the internet somewhere. I forgot where I saw it. But I'm in Los Angeles, and there are tens of thousands of homeless people living on the streets in Los Angeles. A group that wanted to help these homeless people went out to them, and they began to enlist the homeless people in helping each other. In other words, they try to get the homeless people to do things for the other homeless people. Maybe they would run errands for them. Maybe they'd take them to doctor's appointments, or go shopping for them, or go shopping with them. Sometimes what they could do is just meet with someone and talk, spend some time getting to know that person and letting that person be heard. Well, there was this one lady. She was in a wheelchair. She was very crippled up in a lot of ways, and she wanted to be part of that process, but she didn't feel she had anything to offer. She couldn't think of a thing she could do to help anybody. She couldn't take them to appointments. She couldn't go shopping for them. I suppose she could talk to them, but a lot of people were doing that, walking around talking. Then it occurred to her, she had a little dog, a pet. So what she finally decided to do was to take her dog up and down to all the homeless areas where the people were sleeping, and let the people spend some time with her pet dog. Anyone knows about pet therapy, it is really, it is highly successful. People relate to pets. They can cuddle them. They can express a positive emotion to a pet that oftentimes they can't express to human beings. And so that's what she did. And she had a profound impact on the folks that she would visit. Their mood would improve. They would get up and start doing things for themselves, start looking for more positive possibilities, just taking action. So she contributed a great deal just by taking her pet to the homeless people and letting them spend some time with her pet. There is always something we can do. But like I say, if you're in a position where you have any influence, we want to encourage the person to do anything, positively anything. Anything of a positive nature would be great, but to get them up and get them moving and become active in life again, there was a community that was set up for homeless people, and I forgot who did it, but they arranged for a lot of housing. I don't remember if the town had been virtually deserted or if they put up housing that they built from, new housing. But they would give these homeless people entrance into a little small home, and they could have that home clear and free and clear if they stayed there a number of years and participated in the community. All of the people in that homeless community had jobs to do. They had functions. They had a position. They had responsibility. And the more they worked at it, the better at it they became, and their attitudes improved. They started to see hope. They started to see a vision of a better life for themselves and their neighbors. And they grew into a group of close-knit people who had come from a common background, being homeless, seeing their way clear to attempting something better than what they had known. And one of the best things they would do is when new people came into the community, they would take time to sit with them and talk with them and learn their experiences and share their own, and offer their suggestions and their history of how they came from where the new person is at that time to where they are now and where they can go from there. Oftentimes when people got up and functioning, maybe they would go back to school, go online, get some education, get some training. They began getting jobs outside of that community, and the entire experiment turned out to be very beneficial to a lot of people. Did it work for everyone? Of course not. There are people who are just so angry and so hurt, they simply won't let anyone help them. Oftentimes it's family that people feel they've been betrayed by, family members, and they're so angry they want to stay in a weakened condition. They want to stay homeless as if to punish their family members by saying, look at what you did to me. But the truth of the matter is, it was probably their own doing. Yes, family members can hurt you and harm you and knock you down and make you lose self-esteem and all that. But it is up to you to come out of that state and move into a condition where you can see some possibility. At that point in development, people can change and counseling can help. So if we see folks who positively will tell you everything you suggest to them, they knock it down and say it's not going to work, and they refuse to try anything and they want to stay exactly as they are, you know that they're angry at someone and they want to punish that someone or those someones by showing them, look at what you did to me, look how pitiful I am, and you are responsible. You hurt me and I want you to know it. And the only thing we can do with them is just leave them there until they finally decide they want something better. If you give them money, give them places to stay, buy them food and groceries and clothing and all that, you're just keeping them in a state of weakness. I have known many people who spent a significant amount of time living in their cars, and they were grateful to have the car to live in, because otherwise they'd be out in the street and be very cold and worse off than they were. So they took that and they turned it into a better life by taking the car to some sort of employment, getting little jobs and then getting better jobs and bigger jobs and so on and so forth until they moved out of those conditions and into something else. But they couldn't do it by being homeless and being angry at the world. They had to be in a better place before they could make improvement. In essence, that means they couldn't do it from there. They had to get somewhere else in a better place before they can become something better, be happier, and enjoy life more. So, you ever heard the expression, you can't get there from here? Sometimes it's true. So what we want to do is help the people get from where they are to some place where they can start to make improvement. And that's the best thing we can do for them. And if they're not willing to go, we have to leave them where they are until they finally decide they want something better. And don't take it personally. It wasn't your failure. It's their anger. Hope that helps. I think if we understand where people are coming from, it makes it easier for us to cope and deal with people and be of help to people who obviously can use help. We can't blame ourselves and think of ourselves as having failed someone because something didn't work. Oftentimes, it's because the person didn't want it to work. So, if you can help and suggest people get up and start moving, do it. If you can't, just bless them, leave them alone, and wait for them to want to make the change in their life. Hope that helps. Thanks for dropping by. I look forward to talking with you next time.